where we're at, and we're excited. I mean, we got a really good football team, and that's the thing that has got me excited. I'm anxious to let these guys get on the field and do what they do, and that's play football. Been a lot of hype, a lot of anticipation for our team this season, rightfully so, and so we're going to get a chance to go play SMU Friday night at SMU. It's only the second time we've opened up on the road. Since I've been here, we opened up 209 against Wake Forest. They were a really good football team then. The thing about Wake Forest then is that we had a pretty good feel for them. Jim Grove was coach up there, played them the year before. I mean, the thing going into this week is, not really sure what SMU is going to do. I just got a 2 deep from them today, and it wasn't anything like, what we've been predicting, since last January, quite honestly. So that's a concern, so we're going to have to really kind of do a filling out process, early in the game. We know it's going to be a lively atmosphere. I'm expecting, a full house. I think the fans over there will be very excited to see Coach Morris and what he's going to bring to the table. I know we'll have a lot of people there, and so it's a great atmosphere that we're anticipating. Our approach into the game from a football standpoint, is, I mean, we're still in pain now. We're still in pain from the Cotton Bowl. We've lived for 7 months, with a really bad taste in our mouth. So, this is an opportunity to let food taste good and music sound good again, because it hasn't for 7 months in our football lives. So it's important to us. It's important to us. We got good guys, good team with a good intensity. So we're excited about the challenge ahead.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Art, can you talk about just maybe how you do prepare for a game like that, not knowing for sure what they're going to do? Do you even go back and look at what he did in the high school ranks, or do you look more what he's done on the college level?
Of course, he was at Tulsa, did a great job at Tulsa with Todd Graham, and, of course, went to Clemson with Dabo. Done an outstanding job. I mean, he's a really good football coach and done a great job everywhere he's been, even back into high school. So really, from an offensive standpoint, to answer your question, Jerry, we're looking at basically all of Clemson, a little bit of Tulsa back in the day. Gus Malzahn is kind of where Chad and them got together back when Gus was in high school and Chad was at Stephenville. That's where he first started out with the system they're running now. And it's a really good system. They do a great job. They got a QB that can really make it happen. Matt Davis transferred from A&M. He's a stud. He's good, and they got good people in the right spots, which is a concern. So we know basically what we feel like they're going to do conceptually. From a defensive standpoint, of course, Van Malone's coming over from Oklahoma State. He's been around forever. Done a great job forever. So, we're kind of, basing our look from an offensive standpoint, going against their defense, on what we feel like, he might do, being at Oklahoma State for a while and being in that system. So that's basically, where we're starting. And, the thing that's funny about this game, I was thinking earlier today and mentioned it to somebody, I don't remember where it was, but 20 years ago, this is a Southwest Conference game. And that just shows the way the football has changed over the years. But, we're playing them. We're playing Rice as 2 Southwest Conference rivals. And, I think it's good. I think it's good for the state of Texas. Like I said, there'll be a lot of excitement in Dallas this Friday.
Coach, Mr. Dave, wait for the mic.
Dave, I don't think you need to introduce yourself, but I will let you. I appreciate your humbleness.
Dave Campbell, Texas football. Coach, y'all are probably favored. I don't have any idea what the odds are.
But, I don't either.
Is there any reason, or does your team know anything about the historical context of this game? I remember when 1980, when Baylor won the conference championship, the Baylor SMU game was probably the turning point for Baylor's season. It looked like SMU was going to win. They had Mike Ford throwing the ball all over the field. They got down late in the game. Baylor was barely ahead. They got down on the Baylor about the 3-yard line, and Mike Ford fumbled, and Mike Singletary, somebody recovered. Baylor went on, won the game, won the conference championship. And then in about 1980, played at the old Texas Stadium. SMU was favored, and Baylor's defensive end, I don't remember his name, he later assistant coach at Mart High School here, blocked 2 field goals, and Baylor won the game barely. So really, it's always been a very tight game. What would you expect in this game?
Well, I mean, I'll take a tight game as long as we got one more point than they got. I mean, it's hard to expect when there's so many expected things out there. I mean, it's anytime you open a season. I mean, with a new QB from our standpoint, with Seth, it's not optimal situation going on the road. With the first time you've ever got under center and taken the snap. But the good thing that's going to help Seth is that he's got good people around him. We have very good offensive linemen. We feel like our D-line is very talented also. And so that's something that you can lean on a little bit, if needed. We would like to think that they could help, keep us in predictable situations as far as the chains are concerned. But, if I can talk a little history with you, on the Southwest Conference days, I wish I knew that defensive end's name that you're mentioning. I thought Jerry might come with it, but, that's they're always tight. Anytime you play an in-state game, we've talked about this a bunch over the years, in scheduling. Anytime you play an in-state university, there's always going to be added emphasis on the game. So we understand that we're going to have to be at our best, have a chance to go over there and come out victorious Friday.
John Warner, Waco Trib. Art, has it been any more of a challenge for you to get the team ready this week with everything else going on around the program?
Honestly, John, I haven't felt anything. I mean, the thing about youth that keeps me going and keeps other people going that have the opportunity to be around youth is that they're so resilient, first and foremost, forgiving, non-judgmental, and, just have good spirits and high hopes, So that part of it has been, extremely, I don't want to say the word refreshing, but just encouraging. So that part of it has allowed us to try to function as normally as possible.
Steve Cook, Sickle
Yes, sir.
Sports. Coach, Chris Johnson, he's kind of a slash player now, quarterback and wide receiver. Are you looking at utilizing any of his quarterbacking skills at the wide receiver position?
Right now, not really. The great thing about Chris is that he's just a great teammate. We've got a couple of young kids that are freshmen right now that are really great football players coming out, but they're not really sure how to be a great teammate. Because a lot of times when you're the guy, you don't have to be a teammate. And that's what I respect so much about Chris is that, he was the guy in high school, and now he's out and he's been here 3 years, and he's turned into a great teammate. I mean, when we discussed moving him to receiver, which is, can sometimes be kind of a dicey situation, he's all in. I mean, he was up 6:15 the next morning on his own, out there catching tennis balls by himself. So that tells you what type of person that he is. He's a great person. He's a great kid. And we think he brings a unique ability to us at the receiver position. I mean, he's right under 6'4", he weighs 242 pounds, and he can run. He can move. He's fluid, and he's got good hands. The quarterbacks handle the ball all the time. So, we feel like that we can utilize him there while still being able to help us at the quarterback position, if needed. Lo and behold, it won't come to that, but he's our guy if we get an emergency situation.
Coach Tim O'Donnell, Channel 25 Sports. With Seth going into his first career start up in Dallas, too, kind of where he's from, how do you keep him calm and keep his nerves calm in his first start?
Yeah, I wish you could tell me. That's kind of, the thing as a coach. I think it's so important with quarterbacks is kind of knowing how to treat them. How to get them to be responding to the proper situation in the proper fashion. And you can't really do that until you go through some experience with them. We've had a little bit with Seth, but it's kind of been called on. Last year SMU game, called on when Petty goes down. Second half Tech game, called on when Petty goes down. And then the Northwestern game, he started, and played extremely well. But, everybody's different. RG3 is different from Nick Florence, Nick from Briles from Seth. I mean, they're all different. And it takes a little time to nurture into them. The thing that Seth is facing, Petty opened up against Wofford in 2013, after us winning the Holiday Bowl. Not being back-to-back conference champions, winning the Holiday Bowl, finishing 8-5, and feeling decent about ourselves. That's where he opened up, at home. Now Seth is stepping into opening up on the road, in-state, against a new team that's got a lot of energy, that we understand have good players and a good system, with back-to-back champions, on his chest. So that's a whole different scenario. I mean, he's got he's got some feelings around him that the rest of us haven't had. So, we've got to do a great job as a staff of letting him be himself, but at the same time protecting him, early in the game, because he's going to be excited. You mentioned Dallas. Somebody mentioned he's Garland area. We got a lot of guys from the Dallas area. So there's going to be a lot of excitement in there. And hopefully our team, through the years have learned enough, and won enough and done enough to respond in the right fashion at the right time.
Coach Briles, Barry Horn.
Yes, sir.
Dallas Morning News.
Yes, sir.
I was wondering if you had any reaction to President Ken Starr's decision to bring in outside counsel to investigate the.
Oh, not really. I think it's good. I honestly haven't read the report or anything along those lines. So I know Ian's back here at the back. He certainly is a lot more involved in that than I am. I'm trying to get ready to beat SMU, but that hasn't honestly crossed my mind.
Hey, Art, Mac Engel, Fort Worth
Yeah.
Star-Telegram. Art, a lot of people around the state, myself, have been really critical of you and Baylor and its program for the way it handled the Samuel Kwachu case. Do you feel like the criticism is warranted, or the reaction outside of Waco and my others has been unwarranted and unjustified?
That's as you get older, everybody's entitled to an opinion. I've never tried to tell anybody what to think or how to think. I've just tried to live in a fashion that makes them think a certain way, and that's kind of been the same way with our program. So to answer whether it's warranted or unwarranted, I haven't felt that, or I haven't thought about it.
Coach John Morris, Baylor
Yes,
Radio.
sir.
One of your goals, I know, going into fall camp is to stay healthy. You talk about that a lot. Seemed like you've made it through very healthy, which is a little bit of a departure from going in last year.
John, please. It's a great departure, and it's a great thing. Last year when we played at the end of the first game, our top four receivers were out, plus our quarterback. So you never know. The great thing about having 85 scholarships is that you've got to have a lot of depth, because you never know what's going to happen. You can put on the ticker every day and just look at the NFL ticker go across NCAAF, and you just you cringe when you see these guys that put in so much time and effort and soul and spirit into playing. And then I watched a high school game the other night. Number 2 from Scottsdale, I don't even know his name, but he was one of their better players. Gets hurt on the opening kickoff, returned the opening kickoff, and he's done. So it's just, every second you have the opportunity to play, you need to be thankful, because it's a sport to where you're not guaranteed the next one. But we've been fortunate, up to this point, and hopefully, that'll maintain, because that certainly helps determine the outcome of football games. It's a healthier football team.
We've got time for one more question, then we've got to get Coach to meetings.
Coach Sean Gagey, News 10
Yes, sir.
Sports. a lot of criticism has come from the non-conference schedule in the past. When I talked to you guys the first day of practice a few weeks ago, Katie Cannon, he was one of the guys that mentioned, I don't know what we have to do. We just have to destroy people, beat them by a lot. What kind of statement, this being a Friday game, kind of getting out there a day before ahead of most teams, being on national TV, what kind of statement do you guys need to make coming out of the gate here to maybe help your cause later in the season?
Somebody's missing a call. To answer your question, the only statement that really we have to make is to win. I think you could go back through last season and look at the way the season went with the teams that got into the Final Four. I don't think it was so much statement games, particularly early in the season, as it was to just, building your resume. Then when it gets later in the season, then, maybe when it gets down, if there's 5 or 6 that are in that same category, then I think that's when it might come into play, although we never felt that way last year. But I think, some teams did, and maybe we should have. But, it's so hard to get wins in this business. Like I said, I'll take 3-2 right now and walk out of there happy. Thank y'all a bunch. Appreciate it.